Wondering about all the chemical engineers creating content online for you guys? Coming up next. Hey, what is up guys? Welcome once again to the channel. It's great to have you back, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe because here we talk about chemical and process engineering for both students and professionals. It's always great to share stories on the industry, processes, technologies, and of course, if you're a student, what are the trends that are more important or relevant nowadays. Now back to the video guys, I need to be honest with you. Back in my days, it was not that easy to get in contact with other fellow chemical engineers or maybe other students. It was not that easy as today. Right now, you can just go online and find content on chemical engineering. You can find technical content, you can find written content on video, you can find courses, lectures, memes, sketches, whatever. But back in my days, it was pretty hard to find that. So that's definitely that you need to take advantage from. So that's why I'm creating this little list on content creators, of course, chemical engineers or maybe process engineers, but definitely related towards the chemical and process industries. And to be honest guys, I do follow most of them, some more than others, but I really like them, the way they're approaching either their content or their ideas or how they want to, for instance, educate people or if they want to entertain. I really love their approaches. So I'm pretty sure that maybe you already know some of them or they may sound familiar, and if not, definitely go and check them out. Start following them or subscribe to them or whatever platform they're using, go for it. Now talking about platforms, I try to make it varied so you can have your favorite way of consumption. I don't know if you're into video or into blog posts, maybe into lectures or maybe into Instagram stories, reels, whatever you may think of, I prepare it here. So let's get started with the very first platform, which is one of my favorite, and it is YouTube. So I have two main channels that I have been following from maybe 1 to 2 years. They are great in content and their creators are also doing a great job. So let's get started with the very first creator, which will be Jefferson Costa with his channel, The Chemical and Process Engineer with Plant Design. So you may already know him. I have some content with him. We have been sharing some ideas and we have been doing also some interviews, webinars, and also I have a full episode in which we are just chatting about chemical and process engineering in the future on my podcast. But he's also working in a website which is a training for those that want to further their skills on process engineering. So actually, let's give a look to both the channel and the website with the In-Process Booster program. Okay guys, let's check out Jefferson Costa's YouTube channel, and as stated before, Jefferson Costa, Chemical Process Engineer. Let's go directly to the video so you get a very idea or understanding. Actually, here's my face, kind of funny. Okay, so let's go here. So piping sizing in real life for chemical and process engineers, I think that's great because it's not about the theory or all the books. It's directly go and actually size that. Let me open that. I see that's a very long format, so it's kind of like a lecture. Definitely worth if you have some time. Also, you can check out this type of interviews, which I really like. Let me go and...
Hello guys.
Okay, so these are the two persons. Let's check out the thumbnail. I think it's way better here. What process engineers should know about sustainability with Bernard Osseron, Managing Director from Uganda, hosted by Jefferson Costa, Brazil. So that's a very great way to get to know other engineers from different industries, from different countries. Also, one thing I wanted to share guys is Jefferson Costa's website, which is actually, whoops. Okay, so here it is, the Jefferson Costa's website. You can register now if you want to check out LinkedIn profile, Aspen Heis's courses, the YouTube channel, and he has a Telegram group. If you are into that, if you use Telegram properly, you can communicate and get a lot of ideas, job position, projects that Jefferson is working right now. So that's it, Jefferson Costa's website. The second creator I want to share with you guys will be that of Sean Esquivel's channel, which is Sean Chemical Engineer. So I really like this channel because it has a fresher view on chemical engineering, mostly for students or recent graduates. If you're in the Canada area or maybe in USA even, you may find it interesting. And what I really like about the content is, of course, it has more a younger perspective on what creators are doing right now. You can find a lot of content there. For instance, you can find something on day in the life of a chemical engineer, or maybe you can find some tips on productivity for engineers, or maybe you can even find more on technology uses, where is the industry headed, and so on. So actually, let's give a look to the content. Okay guys, now let's check out Sean Chemical Engineer channel. He has been working, I don't know how long he has been posting, since 1 year ago, so I think it's great. 1 year of content. He has a lot of, chemical engineering vlogs, hard work, day in the life of a chemical engineer. He also have interesting topics such as, is chemical engineering dying, which is an interesting topic later to be covered, and carbon capture technologies, top skills for chemical engineers. So yeah, definitely worth checking out Sean Esquivel's channel. Those are the main YouTube channels that you may want to check out if you haven't already. But guys, let's continue with more content. I know that maybe YouTube is specific for a certain audience, but I know there's also people that are willing to check out written content, blog post, or something more formal rather than, I don't know, videos on YouTube. So the third content creator I want to share with you guys is Ivana Lukic. That if you have been following me already, I have an interview with her and we share a lot of stories on how chemical engineers are going online and all that. Ivana is an entrepreneur. She's a chemical engineer. She has a consultant agency for process design and optimization, and yeah, definitely a very heavy profile. And not only that, guys, she has a blog with her training. So you can find it under simulatelive.com. So it has a lot of written content, blog posts, ideas for process optimization, or more into actual process design, or if you're into simulation as well. So if you're into written content, you can go for that. So actually, let's give it a look. Okay guys, let's check out simulatelive.com website, which is from Ivana Lukic, the consultant process engineer. So what I really like is, first thing first, the layout is great. It looks very formal and serious. I think there's a lot of pinch analysis and technology. If you want to simulate steady state, dynamic state, well, that's great that she separated that. You can find a lot of blog posts right here. So yeah, here's the content if you want to check it out. So 25 reasons why chemical engineers should know and apply process modeling. Well, for sure I can think about 10, 25, man, I don't know, that's too much. I will need to sit down and write the content for myself. And you can subscribe and get some news and a lot of, I will assume, emails from Ivana herself. You can get also a free mini course in predictive analysis. So if you're wondering, it's a free course, why not check it out? The fourth content creator I want to share with you is the Column.co founder, Darius Mortazavi. He has been working on the newsletter of the Column.co, which I'm pretty sure you already know from my previous videos. I even did some reviews of the industry, what are the trends, based on the newsletter. So the main idea is a very simple newsletter. You get it maybe twice or 3 times a week. You get it directly to your email for free, and I really love it because it's very condensed information on very relevant industries. I really think it's also very helpful to mind the gap between the academics and the actual things that are occurring on the industry. So actually, let's give a very quick look on a newsletter from the Column.co. Let's check out the Column.co, and the very first thing you will get is this kind of blank page because it's mostly an email service or email newsletter based service. So once you subscribe, actually, I'm pretty sure that you already know how a newsletter works. So let's go directly on the structure. And what I really like is that it has the date and you can relate quickly the West Texas Intermediate prices of crude oil, Brent crude, or the Henry Hub natural gas prices. Also, typically, I talked this with Darius, and the idea is that it has trays. So this will be tray number 1, tray number 2, tray number 3, 4, and 5. And you have the bottoms. So yeah, you made it to the bottoms. I think it's a very creative part. What else do we have here? Molecule of the day. What else is going on? Because of course there's a lot of things going on in the chemical industry. It will be crazy to be sending a lot of news. So I really like these snippets, very quick on what's going on in the industry. So that's the column.co. So those are the creators working with written content, but I'm pretty sure that you guys, most of you I know from my analytics, are young. And I know that young people are very into 1-minute videos such as Reels in Instagram or such as TikTok videos. So let's check it out. And to be honest, I'm also a fan of this type of, new approach towards content creation. I will be publishing something in the future on TikTok, so definitely ensure to follow me. But anyways guys, now let's check out the actual content creators. The 5th content creator I want to introduce to you guys is Andrew Sanchez, which is an engineer from California. He's actually already graduated. He's doing his PhD, and we have talked a little bit. It's great to share always stories from chemical engineers online. He used to work on YouTube videos, pretty similar as I was doing, but he shifted towards TikTok, which I am pretty sure it's going to be a hell of a ride. It's a new adventure for chemical engineers, and I really like that Andrew is working on TikTok because there's a lot of things you can be doing there, and he's doing a terrific job. So let's check out his profile. The actual username is math=music, which is also pretty interesting, especially if you're into music or into engineering and math. They all connect very crazy. Okay, so let's check out math=music, which is Andrew Sanchez channel, and okay, let's go for the very newest.
These are the top industries for women in engineering. But first, we have the chemical industry.
Of course.
Take a look around you. Everything you see in your room is made of chemicals. Get your degree of 90.
Okay, so you get the idea. I also have seen kind of funny TikToks. Yeah, this one.
What's up, nerds? It's Hot Nerd Summer. We're doing the Hot Nerd Summer Challenge. Hey, everyone.
That's great. And well, as you can see, he has a lot of content. If you're into TikTok, why not some 1 minute or 1.5 minute videos on teaching you chemistry and chemical engineering. So this content creator, guys, unfortunately, I don't know him personally. I just know it's out there. I don't know if it's a single person or maybe a lot of persons working on the account, but it's on Instagram, and it's called The Art of Fugacity. And I know, guys, that if there's someone crazy enough to put Fugacity in his or her profile name, it's gonna be epic. What I really like about The Art of Fugacity is that they get a lot of content from a lot of micro content creators. I don't know, maybe some students that may upload, I don't know, maybe 2-3 videos per month on their experiences as students. They upload either Instagram Reels or TikTok stories, mostly TikTok stories. But you can see who are these people. So if you're into this type of content, you can follow The Art of Fugacity and then get a lot of different content. And if you like certain accounts, you can follow them separately. What I also like about The Art of Fugacity is that they have a lot of memes and sketch or funny stuff overall. So let's give a very quick look into the actual profile. Okay guys, so let's check out The Art of Fugacity, which is one of my favorite chemical engineering sites, especially for memes. So you can see, technically speaking, is bio, chem, math, and chemical engineering. I would say it's mostly STEM, but sometimes you can find lovely figures. So this meme, I remember watching it yesterday. It's kind of fun. If you have been working on the lab, well, it's cleaning the glassware because you don't know if it has been used or not. So that's a thing that typically happens when you want to wash and ensure that you are using the proper equipment. Storing, clean, and use glassware separately. So that's also a very good practice, but at the same time, you never know if the clean glassware is actually clean. So a good tip is always clean your glassware before. And really, the most epic and sensei Jedi one, licking the glassware to taste if it's clean or not. I don't know, guys. Personally, I think it's great. And the thing I was telling you about is, for instance, I really like this content, which is from Heather L. Grimes, on the typical ways on how chemical reactors work, CSTR, the batch, and the blood flow reactor. So you can check out her content here or in TikTok, I think. I'm not quite sure if she's on TikTok. But that's the power. You can find a lot of content creators for, I don't know, students or recent graduates. Okay, so now that we are done with the most common formats, I really think that LinkedIn is some way in which you can relate to other engineers, either senior engineers or maybe engineers that are more on your peers, or maybe even just interesting people. And in this case, I have two engineers, which are chemical engineers, of course, that are doing a lot of things on LinkedIn. I really like it because LinkedIn has this atmosphere of being more formal, more technical, not so much into actual creation of entertainment. So it's great because they share a lot of things, or let's say inside things that may be helpful. So the next creator will be Sean Moran, or Sean Moran. I don't know how to pronounce it because I know back in the UK they have different pronunciations that I may be not used to do, but this person is a chemical and environmental engineer. He has a master's degree. And what I really like about him is that he shares a lot on the academic side because he is teaching on the University of Nottingham, but he also has his consultancy or this part of the actual going to the industry part, right? So you can see how he can share or have a very interesting input on what's lacking on the industry and what the industry requires from the students. So there's one thing I want to let you know from Sean Moran is that he has a very interesting view, and what I mean with interesting is that he has a very raw, direct view. So you may not like it that much. There's people that post that he's, I don't know, demotivating other people, but I really think it's very important to understand how senior engineers think, because he's not the only one. There's a lot of senior engineers that are looking for younger engineers, and I really think that you can get a lot from his content and try to understand how older people work, think, what do they expect from you. And yeah, that's up to you guys. I recommend you to follow him, check out his content, and let me know in the comments if you think it's worth it or maybe you end up demotivated. So actually talking about that, let's check the recent post that he has been doing on LinkedIn. Okay guys, let's check out Sean Moran's LinkedIn. Or technically speaking, let's go for the activity. The articles are great, but I think posts are also important. So I say, sir, causing inadvertent. Okay, no. Real ethical problems, drinking the Kool-Aid. Okay, kind of abstract. So apparently he has been working on this Real Ethical Problems series. So if you want to check out, I'm not that into that. So let's go. This is nice. It's not personal, it's strictly business. And you can check it out. So he reposted a summary of previous articles, and you can read all this by yourself. I'm not going to read it for you guys, but what I want to show you guys is the engagement. He has an interesting engagement line, and depending, okay, chemical engineering is not applied maths. Okay, so this is a nice one. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be talking about mostly on how chemical engineers are more on the practical way rather than the theoretical concept. 50 comments, a lot of likes, and this is what I like. You can check out and join the discussion, see what they're talking about, and this helps you to have a small talk when you get interviews on a job. You will know how to talk about, I don't know, relevant things that are occurring. Another content creator that I want to present you guys, and I'm pretty sure that if you're from India, you may be familiarized with him, is Vijay Sarathi. And he has a lot of content, written content, mostly personal stories, a lot of things or problems, theoretical problems, but with a more, let's say, common knowledge approach towards solving it, and also a lot of experiences. So Vijay has a lot of content, or let's say experience on the oil and gas industry. So he has a lot to share, a lot of process engineering, design, plant operation, and all that. So let's check out a little bit on his content. So it's time to check out Vijay Sarathi LinkedIn profile, and not actually profile. I want to focus on the latest activities. So you can, if you are not quite familiar with LinkedIn, you can always go here, clicking all activity if you want to check out kind of stock what he's doing. But let's go for articles or post. So 5 tips on LinkedIn job search and advancing your career. So definitely a good one. So this is a technical one, pipeline project management for young engineers. So that's definitely, if you're into pipelines or working in a chemical plant using a lot of pipelines, this is for you. Okay, so these are the articles which typically in LinkedIn are formal articles, but also posts are more informal ones, kind of like a Facebook post. So this is what I like, the personal stories. Dear engineers, and then he starts all the way. The question is, would you install the Steam Trap tag offline before or after the block wall? So that's a great way towards I don't know how to say it, like learning, because I don't know, he's like questioning you. This is typical like boss in a chemical plant asking you whether or not you will be correct or not. Let's check another one. Okay, he also makes some polls. This one is also nice. Okay, this is a post I reserved for the weekend, but I wanted to write it while I am still ecstatic. So this is very interesting, like personal story you can share, and I really like those stories that typically you share with your fellow chemical engineers when you're drinking or so, but right now you have it online. Now let's change to podcast format, and I'm pretty sure that you are familiar with that. Since the pandemic, podcasts grew and explode tremendously. I even created one, so that's what I want to share with you. I created the podcast because I didn't see any proper chemical engineering podcast. Of course, there were a lot of engineering podcasts or oil and gas podcasts or finance in engineering and all that, but there was something lacking. There were no proper chemical engineer podcast itself, so I created one. So let's give a very quick look on to my podcast. One thing I want to share you guys is my podcast that you can find in almost any platform, or I don't know, like the most common platforms. And here I have the episodes. If you're into certain industries, you can go for it. For example, Chuku Oje on environmental engineering, Daniel Wolfsburg on process control.
Best advice is, I think I've already stated this, but get work experience, get an internship, get an opportunity to see what the job is like,
Which is true. Always go for an internship, work before actually going to actual work. So guys, what I did is to split this into seasons. So the first season was about 24 episodes, but what I want to do is eventually maybe 12 episode seasons, and the next one, season 2, is coming soon. So those were the most interesting content creators that I have been checking on the last months, maybe even years. But I also want to leave you with some honorable mentions. So these honorable mentions may end up exploding or I don't know, eventually going viral. So I think it's worth it to check them out. The very first one will be Jutrup, which is working on his channel, which is called the Chem Eng Weekly channel. You may want to check it because it's mostly based on UK students. So if you want to go to UK, you want a scholarship, you want to know how the admission process is, how to study there, money stuff, all, definitely he can help you. The second one will be X the Engineer. I really like it because he's working in process engineering. Unfortunately, he hasn't been uploading on the last month, I think, or last 2 months. Hopefully he's on vacations and eventually gets to upload more content. And the last one will be Process with Path. I really enjoy his content. He has been, I don't know, approaching the videos with a very engineering approach, but at the same time very digestible, so you can understand it quite straightforward. At least I enjoy it right now. I'm pretty sure that back in my days as a student, I was always curious and trying to I have this understanding of the world or these theoretical concepts I want to try, but I didn't know how to apply them to real life because I didn't have a lab or I didn't have the experience. But what I really think Pat is doing is having these, I don't know, thermodynamic concepts and applying it to real life. So very quickly on the videos of very quickly on Chem Eng Weekly, you can check out some of the videos. Welcome to Chem Eng Weekly, Applications Explained if you're into the UK. X the Engineer, I really enjoy those. He has been posting since 2 months. Hopefully he gets to post more, or at least once a month will be great. This is, I really think, great. For instance, how a bucket changed the world. So that's a great way to think on what's the topic, why the bucket has something to do with chemical engineering. And Process with Pat, he has been uploading recent since 4 months. So as I told you guys, this is very technical but approached in a very great way. So the most obvious one, what happens when you mix different pressures? Do you know? That's great. Otherwise, check out this video. And finally, what's the pressure of a CO2 cartridge? That's a very interesting one. I have no idea. I will say maybe 15 bar, but I'm not quite sure. And that was it, guys. Those were the content creators I want to share with you. Hopefully you like them. Let me know if you have other content creators that I may have missed, or maybe I don't know. And I'm looking forward to know more people, especially chemical engineers, creating content online. Because guys, let's be honest, chemical engineers are everywhere. They are not only on the chemical plant, but they can be doing content online. They can be doing some TikTok stories, IG reels. They can be doing some YouTube videos and so on. And without further ado, guys, I'll be checking out the comment section. If you have some other content creators, I'm looking forward for checking them out. Okay, see you in the next video.